What's up, everyone? Another vlog. I think this time I'm gonna change it up. I finished the health, nutrition, and working out series. I'm gonna change it up a little bit more to entertainment, some stuff that I'm interested in, just from my perspective. I want to start with anime because I really like anime. I'm actually pretty new to anime. Well, not super new, but fairly new to the whole thing. I haven't watched all the anime because there's so many good ones out there and so many that have been recommended to me. I haven't had time to sit down and watch all of them. And the bad part about, and I'm going to get into this, is that the bad part about being late to the anime game is that there's so much to watch. Like anything has like 7 or 8 seasons, and it's just like, oh my goodness, this is gonna take me a week to watch all this stuff, but just to get caught up with people. But it's fun. I mean, it's a great experience to get into anime. But anyways, I wanted to kind of talk about like why I like anime, why I think people should get into anime, and just the anime culture in general, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is my history with anime. So I got into anime. My first experience with it was I watched Evangelion, and that was just recommended to me by, I think somebody gave me like the DVD set for the whole series of Evangelion, and I watched the whole thing and I binged it. I loved it. It was so good. I thought it was different than what I'm used to watching on and just Western television, and I loved it so much. But the weird thing is I never plunged into other animes except for I watched a couple of episodes of Kenshin and I liked it, but I never finished the whole series of Kenshin. And then I watched a little bit of Initial D, and I watched a little bit of it, but I didn't finish it until much later. I started watching anime. That was my first experience, but then I started getting interested in that kind of genre, kind of around the Miyazaki era, when my wife got me to watch Spirited Away, and I really liked Spirited Away. And the Miyazaki those are like considered classics, right? Some people don't consider them anime technically because they're like movies. They're like not short films. They're like full-length films, and in Japanese animation style, but they're not like anime, I guess. But I mean, they are. But I mean, I don't know. Some people have their niches and stuff like that. But I considered them anime because they kind of fulfill that. You know, they're in the style of Japanese animation. The storytelling and the context is all very anime-esque, right? So, yeah. So I watched Spirited Away. I watched Ponyo. And I watched Spirited Away several times because I really liked it. I like the world that Miyazaki builds. You know, it's so cool and it's so immersive, and it's so foreign. It's not only foreign, it's fantasy, so it's foreign, but it's like foreign fantasy. It's really cool, and I never really got to. There's nothing in Western. I mean, they have Western like fantasy type. They even have cartoons that are like fantasy type, or like fantasy type worlds that you can kind of immerse yourself into, but it was nothing like what Miyazaki did, right? So I watched those. I watched later on I got like a box set of Miyazaki classics, and I watched I mean, there was one that I didn't really like that much. It was it's the one with the Christian Bale is the voice actor, and he turns into a crow or something. I forget that one. Where he's like a magic. What's it called? Something Howl's Moving Castle. That's what it's called. Yeah, I didn't really like that one. I did like Mononoke, Princess Mononoke. That was awesome. I liked that one more because of the music, and that's another thing that I like about anime is that the music is so, it draws you in. The music is so good in anime. I don't know why. I don't know why like Western music doesn't sound like that. It's like anime music is awesome. It's so much better for some reason. But yeah, like I like the music. That's one of the main things that I do like about anime, along with the storytelling, along with the context, and along with the world building that anime does. And so now I want to get into why I didn't like anime. Or why not that I didn't know if I liked it or not, but why I avoided anime and why I had some negative assumptions about it, right? So then that's basically the reason why I didn't get into anime when I first started watching anime, is because I just had these negative assumptions about it. I thought it was weird. I thought it was for like weird people, and that these people had fetishes, and that's why they liked anime. It's a really, really negative assumption, but that's kind of how I thought. I used to think that people who liked anime had some kind of weird fetish, and that's why they liked anime. And that's what kept me away from it. And I was just like, once I started watching anime, I was like, that's not true. You know, like, not like, okay, now I will say, there are some animes that are very fetish. Like, if you have a weird fetish, they have an anime for that kind of stuff. So, it is true that there is a subset of anime that is for people like that, and they have, you know, some kind of thing, some kind of weird fetish fantasy that they want to explore, and they have animes for that stuff. But that's not the majority of anime stories. That's not all of anime is not like that, right? But they do have that, right? I mean, just like they have that for, you know, other types of media. You know, there's always like subcultures and subsets of certain genres, you know, that may be more on the extreme side than the others, and you know, that's just the way media is. If there's a market for it, somebody will create it, right? If people are willing to buy it, somebody will make it, right? So that's just the reality of the thing. So to paint all anime in that light was really unfair for me, and I think a lot of people do that with anime. Just they paint anime as this weird fetish thing, and it's not. It's like, if you watch anime, if you watch, like, you know, the mainstream kind of stuff like Tokyo Ghoul, One Punch Man, you know, My Hero Academia, you know, Attack on Titan, like, it's not fetish. Like, it's the real storytelling. It's real content. It's really good, substantive content that's really great. It's great entertainment. And I think that people who have that negative assumption, you should just put that negative assumption aside and try watching some anime. You'll love it. I'm guaranteeing you. You will like it. You may not like a certain subset. You may not, I don't like these kinds of animes, but I do like these kinds of animes. And there's so many genres of anime. There's like harem animes. There's like these dark animes that talk about real issues in real life. You know, like the writers have like a real thing that they want to say, and then they portray it in the anime, right? And yeah, there's stuff like that. And there's just like comedic ones like One Punch Man, which is just kind of a parody. You know, like, they're fun to watch. So I would say give it a try. If you've had a negative assumption about anime, I can tell you that it's incorrect to have that assumption, because it's not. That's not true, basically. So the other thing that I really like about anime is that it's not exactly, but it's kind of like what superheroes, Marvel and DC, was for Western kids. You know, Westernized kids. I mean, I'm an American, but it's what that was for them. Anime is that for me, right? Even though I didn't watch anime when I was growing up, when I was a kid, but it has that effect on me now, where you know, Superman and Batman and, you know, Iron Man, Captain America. These stories, you know, they kind of empower people to be stronger, to, you know, go above and beyond, to, you know, to be more powerful, to be greater than you actually are. Like, these stories empower people to become more of themselves, right? And build themselves up. And so anime kind of does that for me. Like, the stories that anime tell, they're particularly Asian, and that's what I like about it too. Like like Captain America, you know, Iron Man, Superman, all these things, the storytelling is from a Western perspective. And I understand that because I was born here, and I understand a Western perspective. And I like Captain America, and I like, I don't really like Superman, but I like Batman, I like Iron Man, I like Wolverine, I like X-Men. But those are all Western perspectives, right? Anime is that with a very, very intentional Asian, particularly Japanese, perspective and context, right? It's everything, the whole, like, everything, even if it's a fake world like Attack on Titan or something like that, it's a Japanese, the context is all Japanese. It's a Japanese animation, right? It's all Asian, right? So, like, even like in Attack on Titan, it it's in a world that's not Japan, and there's not even that many. The characters aren't even Asian. There's only one character that they say is particular, like she is half Asian. That's Mikasa, right? But everybody else is either some sort of European or Hispanic person or something like that. But they all speak Japanese, and they all come from a Japanese mindset, right? So even even if the characters themselves aren't Japanese or Asian, right? They all speak Japanese. If you watch the subbed versions, right? Not the dubbed, but they all think in an Asian mindset. And so for me, it's like what Marvel and DC and what these comic book superheroes are to a Western audience, anime is to Asian and Asian American audience, or Asian, Western audience. And so that's what I really like about anime as well. So the next real great thing about anime is that it has its own culture with its own type of people, like the weebs and stuff, right? That's what we call ourselves, right? And I'm kind of new to this scene, so I don't mind if somebody calls me a weeb or something like that. I own that, whatever. Yeah, I am a weeb, even though I wouldn't know as much as a true weeb, like a true anime lover would know, like all the mangas, and they would have, I know all that stuff, all the storyline to this anime. I haven't read any manga. Like, I watch anime on TV, when it comes out, and I haven't even watched like all the underground stuff. I watch the pop stuff. I watch One Punch Man. I watch Attack on Titan. I watch things like that. Like, I'm not like all the way in like a true weeb, right? But I mean, I don't mind the term. Like, I think it's kind of nice because it kind of puts me into the anime community, right? The anime community, which is pretty large. There's actually a lot more people than you think that like anime. I'm pretty sure you probably know people in your circle of friends that like anime, that would consider themselves a weeb, right? And so I really like this part about anime, is that it has its own community, it has its own culture, and that's cool. It's around like having your own community of people that like a specific thing. Like, being able to create a community in general is difficult. It's very difficult to create a community. But the fact that anime has its own community is the coolest thing ever. I think that is one of the coolest things that you can you can be a part of if you are into anime. And so, like, getting into anime also adds on that, oh, hey, great, you get to also be a part of this community that loves anime, right? And they have, and it's not just a community just in name or online, that it's like this dispersed community that doesn't do anything. No, they have anime conventions, right? And they have anime conventions all over. Like, I live in California, I live in San Diego. They have anime conventions, in LA, they have San Jose. I think Crunchyroll is going on in a couple of weeks. I think this week, and it's sometime soon. And then they have like anime conventions in Atlanta. I remember they had Dragon Con over there. They have anime conventions all over the United States, and probably in Canada. I mean, I don't even know. But if you enjoy anime and you like anime, you can just be a part of this community. And the cool thing is, I mean, I'm sure there are like elitists and stuff like that. There's like that in every community. But the cool thing that I found about the anime community is they're very open, and just like anybody, just come on in, come be a part of this community. Right? There's no requirements like, oh, you have to meet these requirements to be a part of this. Oh, did you watch this season of you don't have to do that, right? You can just be a part. Just go to a convention, pay your money and go and enjoy, right? And the cool thing, another cool thing about it is that this community really gets into the anime. They get immersed into the worlds of anime. Like, they'll do cosplay. If you go to an anime convention, like, everybody there is in cosplay. And it's cool. Like, everybody wants to cosplay. And that's the place where you go to go cosplay. Outside of, like, Halloween, you can just go dress up as your favorite character or whatever, and then just go meet other people from your anime. Or go meet other people and take pictures with other, the animes that you enjoy. Right? And I'm actually gonna... I've never cosplayed before, but because I'm now a part of this anime community, I want to cosplay. I want to do maybe a Naruto cosplay. I saw one online that I thought was pretty cool, and I might try that. The next anime convention that I want to go to is the LA Anime Expo in LA in 2020. I missed this one this time around just because I wanted to make sure my fitness, I want my body to be ready to do cosplay. That's one of the reasons why I do bodybuilding as well, is the aesthetics that I can go cosplay and I can just take my shirt off and my body will be ready for the cosplay. So that's another cool part. A really, really cool pro about anime is that they have their own anime community. So as I was saying about the anime community, it's very diverse, right? It's not just Asian people. Like I've met so many people, like African American people, Hispanic people that love anime. They love anime. Like they know more about anime than I do. And they're into it. They go cosplay. They go all out. They go to every single convention. And it's like it's very diverse. I mean, yeah, sure. Probably a large portion of people who like anime are Asian because the stories are Asian. The context is Asian, right? But there are still tons of representation from everywhere. There's white people, there's black people, that everybody loves anime, right? And even to the point, it's not just all these like, oh, we're all just a bunch of weebs and we don't, we like anime and we do. No, there's like fitness models and there's like powerlifters and bodybuilders that love anime and they go cosplay. Like there's a dude called Goku Flex, Matt Keto from Hawaii. He cosplays as Goku and he looks just like Goku. And he wears a wig and he wears the thing and he's super shredded and cut. And like he goes to Japan to cosplay even. And he's pretty famous on YouTube, and like there's people like that love anime and they love fitness and they can put the two together and then go to a convention and they, it's a very diverse community, so that's what I think. It's like, it's not like a lot of people think they have these negative assumptions like, oh, it's fetish, it's very weird, it's like it's only for weird people, it's only for like these weaves that they don't ever come out of their, like all of those are wrong. Those are not right assumptions, right? I had those assumptions, right? And I was wrong. Now that I'm in the anime community, I love it. It's so fun. It really energizes my workouts too because I like to listen to anime music. Like a lot of my playlist when I work out is all like anime songs. Like I have rap and then the other half is just all anime music. Or like DJs who do like remixes of anime themes or songs inside the anime. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like you're missing out big time if you just have this negative assumption about anime and about anime people. You're wrong, right? I was wrong. And you should give anime a chance if you've never experienced it. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. But anyways, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to make this quick video about just my thoughts about anime. And I want to do more stuff like this, just talk about just random things that come to my mind regarding fitness, things that I like and that I enjoy. So yeah, that's all I want to say. Thanks.